Hello and welcome to episode 19 of Carry On with Carrie podcast. Today I am thrilled to welcome back Tabatha Dowhaniuk. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Tabatha is a realtor by day and an Akashic spiritual counselor.
Woohoo.
Woohoo. And I'm just happy to have you back. It's good to connect again with you.
I'm so honored to be here. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm really excited to be here and happy to see what comes about.
Yeah. We had some laughs before we even started recording, and that was great. I guess I want to start off with where have you been lately? How have things been going for you?
You know, I'm on a journey,
Mm-hmm.
right? On a spiritual growth journey of growing and learning to love myself completely,
Mm-hmm.
right? So life can throw some curveballs at you that we don't necessarily want or are ready for.
Mm-hmm.
But I truly believe everything happens in divine time, and everything that we bring into our life, we do have a choice on how we handle it. Right. So yeah, my husband and we've really been going within, right?
Mm-hmm.
So changing what we're eating, you know, I think our biggest change is just adding, you know, better products to our bodies,
Right.
and being mindful about what we're doing as far as moving our body.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So those things, doing the little bit of physical stuff, but the big work is in our mind. Right. And it's changing those programs, and it's changing everything that changing our beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And choosing what we want to bring into our life, and choosing what no longer serves us. So learning to let go of what no longer serves you.
Right.
With grace.
Yes.
And some days it's not so graceful.
And some days it's not, exactly. And I guess that's the thing, is sometimes that's part of the learning and the healing, is not to judge yourself in the times where you may need to, where you do have a bad day, or you do have a, you know, maybe you're not thinking the most positive thoughts.
Right.
Because we're just human.
We're absolutely human. And no matter how much work we do, you know, when life keeps putting roadblocks or just the energy in itself, you know, we've all felt the heavy energy, the dense energy. And, you know, everybody is walking around as an exposed nerve. Society is stressed to the max. Everybody is in their own little world. Mm-hmm. And dealing with whatever they're dealing with. And us as empathetic people can feel that. Yes. And sense that. So it can be compounded when you go out into public. You can feel all of that negative energy and that compressed, dense energy of everybody holding on to that crap that no longer serves any of us. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to get out of it when you get stuck there sometimes.
Absolutely.
Right. And so we are human, and, you know, absolutely. Am I perfect? No. I tried on the way here. Mm-hmm. Right. So, but I believe when the emotion hits us, we have to honor ourselves and allow ourselves to allow that emotions to come out, even when it's not pretty. And you know, I'm on my way here trying to get my head clear to speak about mental health and mm-hmm. what I do for tricks. And here it is, you know, spirit and anxiety and whatever is hitting me, and feeling sorry for myself and not happy about where I am. You know, I've been doing lots of growth, but I'm still not near the finish line of where I want to be.
Right.
Right. And so it's hard not to be stuck there, but you don't want to stay stuck there, but mm-hmm. you need to honor yourself and allow those emotions to come through.
Can I take you back just a few steps to where you said feeling sorry for yourself?
Yes.
Would you say that to somebody else?
Would I say that to somebody else, feeling sorry for yourself? It depends.
Depends how long they're stuck in it.
Yeah. Yeah. If they're in it for months.
The reason I say that is because of how we talked about self-speak, how we talk to ourselves.
Absolutely.
Right. And depending at, like, do you give yourself the same amount of grace as you would give somebody else?
Oh, of course not.
Yeah.
Right. That's something that with loving yourself, it takes time to get rid of that old programming that you allowed to take over yourself. And there's that fine line between believing that it's ego and that you're allowing it to rule your life, or that it is really feelings and emotions that are true and are valid. Right. And for my instance, it was valid. I deserve to allow myself to cry. Right. Yep. And it's okay. It's okay to feel hurt, and it's okay to feel betrayed, but I don't need to carry it with me in every aspect of my day. Right. Yes. So it's just learning to not stay stuck.
Right. Yes. And that's part of the practice of, and as you evolve in different ways of healing and knowing yourself more, as we mature in age, but some people never figure that out. And it's the practice though of consciously realizing, maybe sometimes it might take a little longer to get yourself into that spot, but to consciously realize it's time now.
Yeah, it's about being, and really it's all about being conscious about our thoughts, right?
Yeah.
And we would never talk to anybody. No, we wouldn't talk to anybody we love the way we talk to ourselves. So it's about giving ourselves that grace. But so it's, I'm always telling people, as soon as you start saying those negative thoughts, hit cancel, right? Say no, that doesn't serve you anymore. That's not who I am. And we are allowed to grow, but we forget that, we're people don't change. No, you fit into this box and you stay like that forever. And so that's projected onto us from the people that we have in our lives as well.
Oh, 100%.
Right. So that's why it's harder to change with the people around you. They don't, that's why you'll see us go and you won't see me for a while. Right. I go within and I'm not doing stuff where I'm out and about and seeing people, and I'm not connecting with my friends so much because I'm really working on myself, and I need that headspace to be in that quiet time, right? Yeah. In that meditative state, even if it's just walking, it's just clearing myself of any negativity that no longer serves me, and using other tools like frequency music to keep my vibes high.
Right. Yes. You were talking about that before. Can you give us an idea of what that is and how it's helped you?
It is huge. It's life altering. I believe that, what's coming off of the screens, what's coming off of from the TV, from whatever, it's affecting everybody. Right. Yeah. And so that's why music is therapy. Right. But the frequency you can change. Like I'd had the radio on the way here, and I changed it because it was a telethon for cancer. And I was like, that's depressing to me.
Right.
And that I don't want to listen to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't listen to the news anymore. I just choose not to.
Right.
Yes.
And because it doesn't serve me, because I don't need more. I have enough negativity around. I don't need to add to it.
Right.
Right. And it's a great cause, and we know they're doing something wonderful, but I don't want to hear those sad stories.
No.
Right. And because we can all relate to it, and we all have family members. We all know somebody that is no longer here because of it. And so I immediately went on and changed it to my phone and put on frequency music. And it was actually some guru chanting. And of course, it hit me very emotionally.
Right.
Right. And brought out what I needed to heal. Right. So the stuck energy that I was like, Tabatha, you're above this. You've worked so hard on stuff. I was pushing it down a little too forcefully, I think.
Right.
Because it was a new wound. It was a fresh wound over the past couple of weeks, and I had cried, but I hadn't allowed myself to really, really release all of the emotions that were included in that.
Yes.
Right. And so I needed to talk it out and get it out that last little bit so that I can move forward.
Yes. And and that's the thing. I think we hold and bottle up our emotions. And right now, like you said, it's a pressure cooker, this world. It's we're all just like a couple seconds away from, maybe losing it a bit here. And you see it more and more in people, in traffic, in all these things. And it does it. Even if you're not an empath, I think that's the thing is right now, it's such a strong, strong feeling everybody has that everybody's got.
Yeah. And it's contagious.
Yes.
Like a fucking disease. Excuse my language.
No, I'm glad you said that.
Like,
yes.
Right. Because just like positivity is contagious, so is negativity. And when we see people freaking out and losing their crap over stuff, we're accepting it, and then it's contagious. You start seeing other people get more ramped up, and then it becomes okay.
Yeah, it's bad behavior. You're watching it, so hey, I can do it too, right?
Right. Yeah. And so it's about what is really going on. And it's not that, it's everything that has led up to that they haven't been dealing with. Right. And none of us are perfect. We all have our moments of where we've let things pile up, but you got to figure out what works for you to get that out.
Yes.
Right. So is it meditating every day? Is it having a walk? Is it exercising? Is it, for me, Mother Earth is my healer. Right. If I go outside for 15 minutes, whether it's a walk or just sitting on the grass, I feel 110% better. There's no explaining it, right? So she will absorb all my negative ions and turn me positive. And I come back and I'm like, okay, I can take on the world. And now when people say things that are offside or somebody just, cuts me off, it's water off a duck's bath. It doesn't stress me.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
But on those days where I haven't given myself the mental capacity to come within for those few minutes, then I can become an exposed nerve, and I'll be like, what is wrong with you? Right.
Yeah.
You're swearing and saying, get out of my way. And what are you doing? And, a little less rational.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the gut health and what you're feeding your body. Right.
You mentioned something about gut health. And can you explain a little bit about kind of your discovery of some stuff this last summer?
Yes. So since April of this year, so what is that, 6 months? The last 6 months, my husband and I, we have really, really been growing, right? And we started by walking. At first it was a half-hour walk, and then it morphed to 45 minutes to an hour. And now it's between 5 to 6 kilometers, and however long that takes us. And usually it's about an hour.
Yep.
At a nice pace, but we have our dog, and of course, she has to stop and sniff stuff and go to the bathroom, and so you're stopping a couple times. It's not like you're
enjoyable.
Yes, but you're in Mother Nature. We're in the river valley, where it's safe, it's beautiful. The parks and everything that we have in the Edmonton region are amazing.
Yes.
And it's therapeutic, right? So we started by doing that. And then my husband is one of those people that likes to research stuff. He has a photographic memory, and if he sees something, then he wants to learn all about it. So we had watched the fungi, right? Yep. About all the mushrooms. And so then he started looking into them. And we discovered maitake mushrooms. And it is amazing for your gut health, right? It absolutely helps with your digestion, helps with your blood sugars. I find that it suppresses our appetite. So with those changes of adding the maitake mushrooms, and then we also do sea moss. And the maitake mushroom, it's a powder we order from Amazon. You take half a teaspoon every morning. We blend it in with water and take the sea moss, and you chug it like a shot. And
you should feel her skin. It's amazing.
We don't realize that the food we're eating now doesn't have all the minerals that it used to, because so many people have used a Roundup and fertilizer on all of the soil isn't as rich as it was. Yes. And so we're not getting the minerals that we used to.
No.
So you have to get them somehow, right? And so it helps with everything. So the combination of those two things, my husband's lost 55 pounds and I've lost 35.
Yes. When I saw you today, I was like, I haven't seen you for a few months. I'm like, are you good? She looks amazing, everybody.
Thank you.
She always does, but
no, but you feel better, right?
Yeah.
You don't realize how bad you were feeling, right? And how my body was aching from carrying that extra weight, and my body was aching from not moving it either, right? You don't realize that if you don't move it, you lose it, and very much so. And so it's been a beautiful thing to find this. And it's like, yes, Mother Earth makes everything to heal all of us, right? So mushrooms, there's so many different kinds, there's so many strains, and the benefits are amazing. And no, it's not, you're not getting high off it. There's no
right. It's not like you're microdosing or something like that.
No.
No. Okay.
Right? Like it's literally, but you feel so much better, right? We'll warn you, the first 2 weeks that you take it, it is like a cleanse. So no, you need to be close to a bathroom and
right. And stuff happens.
Yes. So no, when it hits, and but you can't believe the stuff that comes out of you, right? And they say that the average person holds 20 to 30 pounds of built up plaque in our colon.
Wow. I believe it. I believe, like, you think of what we eat and what
right.
we
All
ingest.
the processed food is just, it's making us all toxic. And so it's, look at the alternatives. There's natural medicine to cure everything. It's just research and belief.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. But it actually does work. You don't have to believe it, but you can see it. Right. Right. It's one of those things where you take it, you try it, and there's no denying how good I feel. And it, when your gut is healthy, it helps your mind stay healthy.
I was just going to say the correlation between the gut and it's actually, they say, the second brain.
Yes.
Your gut is, when things are going okay here, you tend to go to your gut. And that's when all the stomach problems and,
right.
You were just talking about even helping with cancer.
Yes. That's turkey
tail mushrooms. Yeah.
Turkey tail mushrooms will,
I mean, it's not the be all end all, but it's something that could.
Yes, absolutely.
Preventative or.
What's
another alternative.
They say that it attacks the disease cell, whatever disease that is. And basically it gets all the other cells to attack it. So it turns all the other cells on to attack the bad cell.
Right.
And I think we can heal ourselves through food and what we're feeding it, yes. Right? And whether it be mushrooms or whatever, greens or whatever. Yep. Right? There's
water. We need more water.
Right? But we also need minerals. We need salt. So the biggest fallacy is everyone should be taking a few grams of Celtic salt, gray or Himalayan salt every day. Put it under your tongue every time you have a drink of water. Because with the water intake, we're flushing out all those minerals out of our system.
Right.
And gray Celtic salt has, I don't know how many, 50 or 60 different minerals in it that our bodies need. So then you feel so much better, right? But the doctors are basically, they're indoctored into just writing a prescription, not getting to the root of what the problem is, right? And really what it is whatever the problem is, it's a result of what's going on. It's what the problem is. It's, get to the root of it and fix that, right? Not try to cover it up or just
put a Band-Aid over it or
right.
Yeah. And I was saying to, like, okay, we talked about gut health, but there's also listening to your gut.
Yes.
If something doesn't feel like it's for you, or to trust your body.
Absolutely.
I know for myself, I'm very sensitive to certain medications I've been on, and I know almost instantly, okay, no, this is not okay. And sometimes you'll get a pushback from your doctor or from whoever. And I mean, you have to listen to them, of course, sometimes, but listening to yourself.
Yes.
And your intuition about your body, and it the best.
Well, and that's the thing is we are so distracted, and so there's stuff all around, right? We're too turned on all the time. The internet, the TV, the phones, like we're so turned on all the time that we forget to go within. And so people can't even listen to their bodies, right? For the most part, they don't know how.
Everything's shut down. So you're not.
Right. And so you're walking zombies, basically going through life like you're in a video game. Yeah. Right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Right? And it's like work, eat, sleep, eat, drink, go to bed. Yep. Right? Like they become just shells of themselves.
Yes.
Because of the stress of the outside world and, everything around them and everything that they're walking through in life. And so it's just remembering to come within and go, okay, let's reconnect that heart brain. Let's be quiet for a few minutes, but muscle test yourself, right? So if you put your fingers together, you can try to and ask yourself, what is a yes? So use your other hand and go, okay, So try to open it up. Is this a yes? A yes stays closed.
Oh, okay.
Is this a no? It opens up, no problem.
Right.
Right? So everybody's body is different. But you can muscle test just standing with your feet wide apart.
Okay.
And you can ask your body, what is a yes? And sometimes your yes will be walk backwards. Sometimes your yes will be walk forward. Your body, everybody's body is different, right? For the most part, we want to recalibrate ourselves so that a yes is forward and a no is back. But sometimes we're opposite. There's nothing wrong with that. But once you know that, then you just ask, okay, well, is this product? You hold that product and say, is this good for my body? Does my body need this?
You can feel it.
You absolutely, and there's no denying. And so it's like, okay, now let's start using that more, right?
So now I guess the same thing would be for relationships as well, with other people, with other human beings, whether it be a family member, a friend, a new love interest, like anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. If you are disconnected from yourself so far that you don't know whether they're healthy or good for you, and you need to ask, you can ask through the muscle testing too, right? But you also need to listen to yourself, right? We all have intuition. We're all born with it.
Yeah.
It's been programmed out of us.
Right.
So we need to listen to that, right? But we get so damaged and so so full of trauma that when nobody's dealt with any of the real issues that we kind of turn it all off.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we let the ego talk.
Yes.
And the ego is the one that beats us up. It's saying all those hateful things that no human being would say to you.
No.
Right?
And I know for me, I'm very good at that. And a lot of times I'm learning to get out of it. And I'm like, you know what? Stop it, Carrie. And then I'll sometimes say, well, don't be such a loser. Stop talking to yourself. And then I actually stop myself, but it's a practice.
It is.
And I'm not trying to sound very negative right now, but it's just like, I'm being honest. That's what comes through my mind. I know a lot of people that do have.
Yes. Well, and none of us are perfect. Right. No. And on our journey, I'm like, I have those same things. Like, I can't believe that you're where you're at. And I can't believe how dumb you are. Like, how can you be such a loser? Right? Those words have come through my head. Yep. Am I getting better at it? Because yes, I am very conscious of what thoughts I'm allowing and what I'm wanting to bring into my life. Because we are the director, producer, and the actor in this movie that we're in, this life we're living in. So let's change the direction we want it to go. Right? So it's like, okay, yeah, we can go down that wrong path and feel that wrong, but I truly believe everything happens for a reason. It's only to help us grow into who we truly are meant to be.
Yes.
So into that best version of ourselves. It's okay, well, thanks God, universe, source, whatever it is that you call, whatever that is. Thanks for the lesson.
Right.
Right? And when you lean into that gratitude, there's so much growth there. And then it's like the path just opens up. The golden light, it's like the golden bridge just opens up and it's like, it's all lit and you just keep walking forward and it's like, hey, this is where I'm supposed to be. But it's hard to get there sometimes. Sometimes we're down so low, it's hard to pull ourselves out. And that's where you call a friend. You're like, hey, I'm not having a good day. Can we go for a walk?
Yeah.
Can we go for a coffee? I just need to, and just knowing that somebody is there to listen to those sorrows and help pick you back up.
Right.
Right.
And I mean, and last week I had somebody, we were talking about writing as a stress relief, but verbalizing and talking it out and getting it, you don't have to dwell in it.
Yes.
But you can, by getting it out in that healthy way, whether it's with a social worker or a therapist or a friend or your dog,
right?
It just getting it out there.
Absolutely.
Screaming into the wind.
Well, and for sure. And if it's something that you're having a hard time letting go of, the biggest thing that has saved me is visualizing. And so I always visualize whatever it is that no longer serves me. I visualize an energetic bubble in front of me. Yes. And I put everything that I no longer want in that bubble. So if it's people that are no longer serving, no longer aligned with where I'm at, I put those visions in there. If it's people that I need to forgive, I put them in there, right? And I put the version of myself in there too. Right? Because really it's the biggest thing we need to do is forgive ourselves, because we put ourselves in that position. Yes. Our thoughts created our reality, and somehow, even if you didn't see it coming, it's happening for a reason.
Yes.
So I put all of that into that energetic bubble, and then I visualize kicking it as hard as I can to the ethers. I let it get right into the Milky Way, and I visualize that energetic bubble going. And once it gets into that atmosphere, all of a sudden it bursts into billions of pieces, right? So you can visualize it like fireworks, like going off. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and all those ashes coming down, you can't catch them.
Yeah.
You can't find them. And now you can't, that has no more charge over you. Now, when you think of those people in that circumstance, it no longer has you retreating. Like, it no longer have that, or that charge, right? And it's like, okay, I've taken my power back. Right. So the biggest thing we can do is do that. You feel instantly lighter, and it's like, okay, I can do this. I can take on the world. And yeah, you might have to do it a few times, because there's some wounds that are so deep that, it's like, okay, I feel better now. And then it'll come up in a week or 2 weeks, and it's like, oh, we're still not done this. Okay. It's another layer.
Yeah.
Right. But each time you're getting deeper and deeper. And then you realize that as you're healing every generation. You're healing the generation before you, and you're healing the generation behind you. And so with that, as you're changing your frequency, people around you have no choice but to change.
Right.
If they don't change, then they end up out of your life.
Right. And that's part of the releasing.
Yes.
So you mentioned something about growth in layers. So loving yourself, would you say that's probably the most important of those layers?
I think that once you've mastered that, you've mastered this life, right? And so that's the number one thing, but it's the hardest thing for us to do. Right? Because we have all of this built-in judgment, and it's not the judgment we have for others. It's the judgment we have on ourselves. We don't judge people like we judge ourselves. They can have grace, and we can look at them as a human being, but we expect perfection from ourselves.
Yeah.
So that perfection, we are divinely perfect. Right? There's no question. We're all divinely perfect, and we're all supposed to be here, and we're all meant for bigger things than what we are attaining. Right? So go within and find out what that is.
Yes. Like when you have your baby, I had 3 sons, and when they came out, I just looked at them, and they were just like pure love.
Well,
pure love.
And that's exactly it. So that unconditional love, and it doesn't matter even if it's not your child.
Yeah.
Any baby, if you hold a baby, so visualize holding yourself as a baby. This is you. You're perfect and whole and complete. There's nothing but love for that baby. You only have love for that baby. Yeah. And same with, like, whether it's a baby animal or whether it's a baby human. You just want to cuddle and squeeze, and you're just like, this is just pure love. Like, you're perfect. It wouldn't matter what was wrong. It wouldn't matter. You were perfect.
Yeah.
Well, we have to go within and find that within ourselves again and heal that, right? And so visualize holding yourself as a baby. And that's the unconditional love that we all need. And that's what, and so I do a lot of the subconscious reprogramming in the Akashic records, but it's such a deep wound that we have to do it multiple times. The layers, right? It's like, sometimes it doesn't completely stick the first time, right?
Yeah.
It's that unconditional love without judgment is really what we are.
Yes.
We're supposed to be, and that's what God is. Right?
Yes.
He has no problem forgiving us. He has no problem. Right? Well, we need to start doing that for ourselves.
Yes.
Right? And once we do that, well, then life gets easy.
Well, once you start forgiving yourself, you start forgiving others, and then the freedom comes.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And I honestly believe that. And that's where the ego comes in, is that it wants to tell you, no, you don't need to go there.
Well, and in order to free yourself, you have to forgive those people. You have to.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just one of those things that, it's not always easy.
No.
But you're not doing it for them. Right? It's not saying what they did is okay.
Yeah.
but it's being okay with it.
So how can you say to somebody, okay, what would your advice be to say, I always refer to a young mom because that was my, say you're going through a bitter divorce, even if it's a young man and it's a relationship, there's children involved, it gets nasty. It starts off great, it gets nasty. How do you stay in that? How do you get to that place when you're there? Like, what can you focus on that will help you not stay in the hate and not stay in the...
Well, for me, it would be like the energetic ball. Again, putting that whole situation, that toxic energy and that situation in that energetic ball, release it, burn it, whatever, let it turn into fireworks, let it turn into, burn it if you need to. Sometimes we need to write a letter of everything that you want off your chest, everything that you wanted to say but didn't get the opportunity to, and then burn it. That's very therapeutic, right? And so do whatever you need. But at the bottom line is staying angry is only hurting you, and it's also hurting any kids involved.
That's right.
Right? So really, you loved that person at one point to be able to have children with them. You need to get back to that place where you have some love for them.
That's right.
And it doesn't mean that you're going to be falling back in love with them, but it's you're giving them grace.
That's right. Because once you start giving yourself grace, then you can give that to others.
Right. Yes. Well, and you have to give yourself grace, but you have to give, sometimes things just don't work out and they aren't right. But when you get into that ugly state, it's contagious.
It is.
Right.
Yep.
So it's a choice to stay there though. Right. So it's like, you know what? Let's make this easy for everybody. You don't like being angry and I don't like being angry. Let's just do what we have to do to get through this. If we are exchanging children and, that kind of thing where, those wounds are deep, right? And that hurt is deep, but you gotta heal yourself.
Yes.
Right. And work on yourself and be okay. And know that as you're healing those children. And so you staying in that nasty bitterness is not serving anybody. It's not serving those kids witnessing it and absorbing it, living through it. And it's not helping the relationship, of course, right? No, yes. Like, so then it just gets more toxic. So why would you stay there? Why would you do that? If you love somebody enough to have a child with them, figure it the fuck out.
Yes. Yeah.
Grow up.
Yeah.
You need to live like that. If you love somebody enough to have a child with them,
love somebody enough to let them go.
Yes.
Isn't that
yes. Let them go and let them live their life and wish them, be genuinely happy that they're moving on.
Yes.
And be happy for yourself that you're not living in that toxicity anymore. Right. So turn it around.
Right.
Turn it around and be, okay, I'm grateful that you gave me these kids.
Yes.
I'm grateful for these beautiful humans that we created together because I couldn't create them with anybody else. So for that, I will love you for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
Because I love these kids more than breath itself. Right. So it's about changing, but our hurts it takes
time.
Hurt turns to anger and that's part of the we all evolve.
Well,
right?
And those are all healthy. Those are all healthy emotions too. It doesn't mean that you go through this and you have to be perfect. And you're going to have all of those anytime you're grieving.
Yes. But keep the communication and, as long as it's somebody that can meet you halfway and if they can't, then just be graceful.
Yes.
And go choose what you're willing to engage in and what you're not. Right. Set the boundaries and do what's best for you.
Yes.
Right.
And pick your battles.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And it's like, do I need to say that? No. Like, do I want to say it? Yes. But say it to the wall.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So, okay. Speaking of that, so in those moments you can feel very lonely and overwhelmed and all those other things that go with it. So I just kind of wanted to segue into angels. Some people, whether you believe in angels or not, or in a higher something or other, or whatever it is your beliefs are, let's just pretend right now you do, that you believe in angels. Can you tell me how you believe they do guide us
Yes. We all have guardian angels. Every single one of us have a whole team of spirits around us, helping us, guiding us. And it's just whether we are conscious enough to be open to seeing the signs, right? But absolutely, that intuition and that the intuitive hits that you get from angels, there's no denying. And I've had times where I don't know how I did not totally crash my car, right? There's times where I've been going off an off ramp and I did a full 360 and I don't know how I didn't hit either side. Right. And I knew, and I could feel a guardian angel. Yeah. Okay. We're going this way. Yeah. Right. It was, that's, I've had that. I've had the intuitive hits to don't go there. Right. Today's not the day to go there. Right. Like, it's like, and I had that I was supposed to go on a retreat and I was on my way there and I wasn't feeling, I was getting those, like, I don't know. And I was like, well, maybe it's just my headspace but I'm one of those people, if I commit to something, I really want to show up, right? You don't let people down. Yeah. Right. And I had to bring a potluck item. I'd gone to Sobeys, picked up what I was bringing, and I still had this feeling. And then all of a sudden I had a police car in front of me. And then I had somebody that came across and they had 911 in their advertising. Okay. Right. Which was really, really weird to me. And I was like, this is too many signs. Yeah. I'm not supposed to go. Right. Like, I was like, I'm going to go down the highway or whatever. And sure enough, right. So I called my girlfriend that I was like, I'm sorry, but I have to cancel. Like, that something just doesn't feel right. And I've had two things stop in front of me, and this is just weird. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Like, so now I know this is really a sign that I have to listen. Yes. Yeah. Right. Right. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Right. Like, it was. And then I'm like, no, Tabatha, that's a sign. Like, your gut is already telling you, and you're not listening to that. And so then it was, and then I'm like, no, I'm not supposed to go. Yeah. Right. And I don't know what my angels were keeping me from. I don't, so I bowed out and everything was fine. I had a nice relaxing day at home and everything went well. Yeah. Right. But it's listening to them. Right. And did you feel a sense of relief when you'd finally decided that you didn't want to go? I felt completely normal and fine. And it was like, so it's just listening to them, right? Yes. And we tend to allow our ego to go, that's just, you're, and no, you have to listen. You're meant to listen. Yes. Right? Everything is frequency. Everything is energy and frequency. So it's like, what can up your vibration? Well, listening to certain music and, ups your vibe. Meditation can up your frequency. Laughing can up your frequency. Yes. But if you're feeling really lonely, you can call on the archangels. Like, if you are feeling in despair and not yourself and don't feel like you can pick up the phone and talk to anybody, well, then call on archangels. Right. Right. So look them up. They are pure magic and they will not let you down. And, Michael is there to protect you, and Raphael will heal you. Right. So if you've got any medical things going on, call on him. Right. And, there's 17 or more of them. So there's one for everything that you need. Right. So, call on them. They won't let you down. Yeah. And same with your spirit team. You can talk to them. Yeah. And you can ask them for more guidance and help. Right. So when you start talking to them and asking them for guidance, they will start showing you your signs. Right. Yes, like dimes. Absolutely. I found one yesterday on my driveway. Yes. I know. I find them all over the place. I do. And it's not like I'm looking for dimes. They just, oh, right, dimes. Yeah. 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 But the fact that when I see one, I'm aware of it. Yes. And I acknowledge it. And that's just for me. That's just something. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. My mom, I relate my mom to dimes. And then, but I've been finding quarters all summer. Right. Right. So who knows? Yeah. It's somebody in my team is dropping them for me. And I'm like, okay, thanks. Then they're telling me I'm on the right path. Yeah. And then I'm doing the right things. And then I'm getting stronger, healthier, and wiser. Yes. Yeah. And that helps you get through that moment, that time. And if
I often wonder, well, what was I thinking right before I saw that? Because when I see something like that, or that I notice, my grandma is a robin. So if I see robins, I just instantly think of my grandma.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what was I thinking before that? That maybe I was distressed, or I was overthinking something, or maybe I was a happy thought too. But oftentimes I don't remember what I was thinking, because now I'm put into this moment.
Yes.
And that's presence.
And that's where we need to be.
Yes.
Because really, we have no control. We can't change the past.
Mm-hmm.
And we have no control over the future other than keeping positive thoughts. If we're thinking negative thoughts, we're gonna attract that. We're gonna manifest that into our life.
Yes.
So if you keep that up, and that's what when it comes down to loving yourself, you have to get conscious about catching yourself in that self-negative talk. Because when you keep doing that, you become a battered person.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, if you've been for months straight telling yourself nothing but negative things, well, how do you have any self-worth? How do you have any self-confidence? You don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you wouldn't do that to your child. You wouldn't do that to your partner.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't do. So why do you allow it on yourself?
Yeah.
Right. So it's changed that around, and yeah, it's not overnight.
No.
Right. It takes practice, and even then, when life can become a little bit more stressful, so then when you change that and you're vibing high and you're keeping your positive and you're catching yourself and saying, cancel, no, I'm not allowing that in my life. I'm this new version of myself that's happy, positive, and healthy, thriving, healthy, wealthy, wise, and thriving. I love that.
Yes.
And so when I'm doing more of that, I'm doing that. But then, life can throw some curveballs where and you can immediately go back into that negativity of talking down to yourself. Well, look what you did. How did you manifest this into your life? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, ask, what is the lesson here? And let's get to the root of this. And so that I don't have to replay this lesson over and over and over again. And then you start seeing patterns of yourself. Right. And it all comes down to self-worth.
Yes. Yeah. And what hurt are you trying to get past?
Yeah.
That you've been brought down to this place again, that it's uncomfortable and you don't want to be.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So it's when you start noticing those things that you can finally, I think, breathe. Yeah.
Breathe. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
And that's why breath, like just even listening to a mantra or a breathing, doing a few different breathing techniques can reset you.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And bring you to the present.
Yes.
And that's what it's about. We got to stay present. Stay present. And the world is so beautiful. So start looking at everything with that expanded view. Right. So when you're walking, just visualize seeing, expanding your vision. Right. So that you've got that peripheral. Well, there's so much magic out there. And then when you start noticing, and like you look at all the leaves on the ground, so many of them are in heart shapes.
That's so funny you said that. I was walking the other day with my son Jake, and the perfect heart.
Yes.
Like it was literally there was no stem even. It was just this. Yeah. Yes. Anyways, it's just funny that you
right.
Brought that
so
up,
Mother Earth.
I looked at it and I was like, look at Jake.
And when you're in the flow and you're in the right headspace and when you're filling your cup up, working on you and getting, I'm like, life can be magical and you can create magic.
Yeah.
Right. And even, my husband and I were walking last week and it was a bad day and we were both a little stressed. And I looked down on our walk and I found a rose quartz.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I was like, how bizarre, right? I'm like, thank you, angels. And life is divine.
Yes.
It's way more magical than we give it credit.
Yes.
And so start looking for it.
Yeah. And if you
allow some whimsy, allow some fun, and let's get playful. And when we're playful, the fairies and angels and everything will come bringing you gifts.
Right.
Right. And I was like, really, we were walking in Gold Bar Park. No, like I found it in the grass. It was, and it was literally like, I don't even know why I looked down. I just looked down and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's a day you needed it.
Absolutely. Right. But there was also my team telling me everything's going to be okay. Like, don't stay in that negative dread spot. Right.
So I guess what I want to get across to anybody listening that perhaps isn't in that place, this is what, this is all about basically what I'm doing here or what I want to portray to somebody who is struggling. when you get to that place, that seeing that rose quartz or that robin or whatever it is you see, a heart-shaped leaf, you get to that place and you realize you're not alone, because those things they bring you to the present. But how do you tell somebody, or do you know what I'm trying to say? How do you explain to somebody that you may not be able to feel that right now? And I guess that's the wisdom. Better. It gets better.
It gets better.
Yeah.
Right. So give yourself the grace to feel those,
like if you're not
lower
seeing
frequency,
them now.
Right? So if you have that lower frequency vibe playing, start moving your body. Sit outside, get some vitamin D, get some sunlight, and start with baby steps, but fill your soul, right, with what makes you feel. But have a bath.
Yeah.
Have an Epsom salts bath and put on some frequency music.
Yeah.
Guaranteed that'll change those thoughts and change your thinking.
Yeah.
Right? I sleep with frequency music every night.
Right. You were saying that.
And it's beautiful, right? But I also play frequency music throughout my house on the regular basis. And when you come over to my house, it feels like a warm hug.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I can attest to that.
Right? And it does. And it's because I'm conscious about it.
Yeah.
Right? But I didn't realize what vibes were coming off of the TV and what, and then once I found that, I was like, well, this feels so much better.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, no, this is my safety. This is my place. But, if somebody's feeling lonely, call a friend. People, we all have busy lives, and you think everybody's too busy to listen to you. I'm like, if somebody called me in distress, I would drop everything I was doing and I'd be there in a second, and it wouldn't matter how far they were.
Yes.
I would get there.
Yeah.
Right. So a friend or family member needed me, I would get there. Right. And I'm not the only one that would do that. There's lots of people, everybody has people in their lives that'll do that for you. So call them. Right. But, start looking in your area to see if there's meditation groups, if there's yoga practices going on. This is all stuff that helps keep us physically and mentally healthy.
Yes. Well, I went to, after having my interview with Mandy last week about the writing, again, I'm going to say it. I went to the writing group that she has, and it was something new, something different. I used my brain. I was in the moment, in the present during that whole time. Now, I've always had interest in writing, but I haven't taken it to that next level. So you just start looking for different things. There's something for everyone, and it was free.
Yes. And that's the whole thing. And the other thing is, if you are really in a really bad spot, start writing out your thoughts, and then read them back and go, okay, this is where I start from. I started here.
Yep.
And we're going to slowly make that better. And so turn it around and start doing positive affirmations and start building yourself back up again, and start filling yourself up with that confidence that was lost.
With Thanksgiving coming up, Canadian Thanksgiving coming up this weekend, can you share 3 things that you are grateful for right now?
Oh, yes. Of course, right? Thanksgiving, of course, my family's number one, right? The core of my husband and my 2 boys and 1 girlfriend so far. My oldest doesn't have a girlfriend. He's single, by the way. Any of you girls listening? 21 and cute.
Yeah.
Please don't
throwing
call
that
him
out there.
Yeah. He will kill me.
Or he'll thank you.
Yeah, well, maybe
not till after.
Yeah. So, family, that's an absolute given. But I am so grateful for the RUA group, for meeting you.
Yes.
I'm grateful for you, Carrie. Thank you.
Thank you.
We've shared some darkness on both sides. You've shared your sorrows, and I've shared mine, and it's a beautiful, beautiful friendship, and I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful that we have such a wonderful, welcoming group there.
Yes.
Right? It's a no judgment zone, and we all just are there.
We're there. When
right?
We need to be there, and it ebbs and flows too. If your need to be there is there, and if it's not, it's not, and there's no judgment in it.
No, and that's the whole thing. It's not one of those things. You come when you can come, and you don't when you don't, and and it's a beautiful, right? So I'm very, very grateful to that, because we started doing Monday morning meditation. So
Yes,
anybody local to the Shore Park, Edmonton area, every Monday morning at Balance Wellness, I lead Monday morning meditations from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Okay.
And it's a great way to start your week, right? And we are intentional about it. And so I'm growing it. Anybody wants to come join?
That's awesome.
And then I am grateful for the lessons I've been learning, right? Because no matter what, even though they were hurtful, it's forcing me to love myself unconditionally.
That's right.
And I didn't realize that my self-worth was attached to money, to wealth, to my finances. I didn't realize that my self-worth was really dictated by that.
Right.
And, through the growth of this past year, of the ebbs and flows of life, and, crappy situations, and not being exactly where I wanted to be, I'm grateful for it, because I'm happy with who I am now. Right. And that I'm getting to really, really love myself and be expanding on that be ready for what's next.
Yes. Yeah. Your wings.
They've been there for a while. I think I'm finally opening them up.
Yeah. I think you are too. It's funny when you've because we've known each other now for over a year and made fast friends, I think, like you said, and I'm so thankful for you as well. It's a beautiful friendship, and you are just the most giving person. You really are. You have such a great soul. And that's, you don't meet people by accident.
No.
And just the growth that I've seen even in you. Because to me, when I met you, you were strength of this strength, right? And now so at that time, to think that you could even get higher than that, that's what I see.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I appreciate that. Right. And yeah, I'm proud of where I'm at. Right. I'm proud that I was able to be humbled a little bit. And I don't think it made my heart any less open. So that's good.
Yeah.
So I was really happy about that, because, sometimes we can allow that hurt or those lessons to really, for us to harden the heart and not, right. And that just doesn't resonate with me.
No.
And it doesn't serve me. So I'm like, in order for me to be my best version, I have to be able to forgive, and I have to, and I'm doing it for me, not for anybody else.
Yep.
And with that, it's learning to really love all the sides of myself, right? That not everybody gets to see.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
And thank goodness not everybody gets to see every side of you. That's precious.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? And that's exactly it. We can be very conscious about who we allow in and who we don't.
Yes.
Right. And so that's what's so nice about, yes, I'm like, there's no question we met for a reason and, became fast friends, right? It's we were vibing you just connect, and it's like, yeah, this is a connection that I swear we've definitely had a past life together. So I can't wait to dive into that. Actually, we should go do an Akashic record together.
Oh yeah. On a podcast.
Oh yeah, we could do that. Absolutely.
I'm open.
Okay. The next time you invite me over, we'll do that.
Okay. That would be cool.
Yeah, because
then people can get a sense of what it is.
Yes.
Right? And understand what's behind it and what it can open up. I'm an open book. I don't care.
That's beautiful because it is a very intimate space, right? Yes, so to open that up to, it's not that there's dark, ugly stuff that comes up.
Yeah.
It's just that it is very private, right? It is. So it's a very intimate space. So yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So talking about Akashic records and maybe delving into how we might have known each other in a past life, because we both believe that's a thing. I would say kindred spirits.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. So it's, best friends that will have your back at every, no matter what, and be there, that guiding light, be there for when you fall down and help pick you up. But also, in the dark sides of us too, right? They accept us for who and what we are. And so that's what's so nice about having really good friends or, a kindred spirit. And that's very much how I feel. I feel like, when you have that connection and that it's like you've got an energetic blueprint that that I gravitate to,
Mhm.
right? And I don't think you have that unless you've had a past together, right? I think when it's instant like that, it's like, okay, I can trust this person fully. I know that they've got my back. And even if it is, to bury a dead body.
Yeah, because we all had to die.
But on that, like a couple weeks ago, I had a really bad day and I called my girlfriend crying.
Yeah.
And I was crying, and she, like, I don't ever call her crying. And so she's like, oh my God, what's wrong? Like, just tell me what's wrong. Like, don't tell me that Kelly had an affair.
First place she goes.
And I started laughing and I was like, no, because I'm like, if he had had an affair, he'd already be dead and I'd be calling you to bring over shovels. And I'm like, come, I need Thelma right now. Yeah. So we died laughing. She pulled me out of my crying state after I had told her what had happened. And she was like, oh, thank God. She's like, I initially thought it was, I'm like, no. I'm like, God, no. And if he did, he'd already be dead. And you would be helping me bury him. So, and I said, and so when I call you and say, I need you, Thelma, to ask no questions just to get your fucking ass over here.
That's right. There's a cliff that we have to talk to here. So, yeah. And again, we could just keep going and going and talk. And there's so many things we'll definitely be doing this again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here and for being your true, authentic self as always. And just being real about it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I really appreciated being here, and it's always fun.
Yeah, it is fun. So Carry On with Carrie. You can find me on Facebook at Carry On with Carrie podcast and on Instagram at Carry On with Carrie _podcast. I'm going to have Tabatha's information up on the show. And yeah, don't forget, if you are if you're looking to buy,
if you're looking to buy or sell in the Edmonton region, Edmonton, Sherwood Park region, anywhere in the vicinity, I'm 18 years as a realtor, so I can help you in both residential and commercial real estate.
And she definitely knows what she's talking about, and she has really good intuition. So she's like,
oh yes,
she's the one. Anyways, thank you again, and everybody enjoy your week. Next week I have Sherri-Lyn Shaw here.
Oh, how wonderful. Yes. She's amazing. And everybody needs to try Emotion Code.
Yes.
Life-changing.
I wanted to be there last week and I wasn't able to get the chance. But yes, so she's going to be joining us next Thursday.
Oh, how exciting. Yeah. Good. Okay, I can't wait to listen.
Okay.
Thanks,
Tabitha.
Okay, bye.
Take care.